Digimon has existed for many years in the shadow of its more successive counterpart Pokemon. Even though the former has released many games in the anime series, it's never been able to steal the limelight for itself. However, with the release of Digimon Story Time Stranger, Bandai Namco finally have all the pieces in play to take center stage. This is my review of Digimon Story Time Stranger, which I played in the PlayStation 5, and I want to thank Bandai Namco for providing me with a code. Now, my history with Digimon has been long but a distant affair. I've loved the original series with Tai and friends and thoroughly enjoyed the remake and Adventure Try to reignite my love for the series. However, after playing Digimon World back on the PlayStation 1 many years ago, I've always stayed away from the games. This was until Cybersluth, which I received for the Nintendo Switch for Christmas a few years ago, and I fell in love with the games. Now, after many years, Bandai Namco have released a follow-up of sorts with Time Stranger, building on everything Cybersluth did well. When you boot up the game, you immediately choose from one or two characters. I chose the female for reasons. Shut up. You then walk around the city and come to learn of a devastating event that took place many years ago, and a giant wall has been built around it to cover what happened. A few things came to mind whilst looking at that wall. There seems to be a big Attack on Titan influence, and Donald Trump will be very proud of that wall. Well, once you manage to sneak in, you start seeing hostile Digimon, and you're provided with your own Digimon to fight back. Hang on, is that a gun? How are we not talking about how cool that is? Upon meeting a mystery girl after a big event, you end up 8 years in the past. You then have the opportunity to find out what caused the event at the start of the game and how to prevent it. The story is far more mature than you're going to get from the standard Pokemon game, well, any Pokemon game. However, it still has those anime vibes, so don't go in expecting a deep, complex tale like Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The main story is going to take you around 30 to 40 hours depending on how much you want to put into it. I've not finished this story as of yet because I've been playing this at 4 in the morning because of a 6-month-old, but the story has been keeping me engaged and not wanting me to press the skip button, but it really doesn't top how good the battles are. The cast and the Digimon are voice acted, which is great, but sadly the main character isn't. This is a shame because a lot of the emotion can be lost when you're working with a silent protagonist. Now, whilst the humans are okay, it is the Digimons that shine through. Their personalities are fun and over the top, which I love, although I'm never going to get used to seeing a male Beamon.
Get out of here? How? But you did clear away that rubble for me, so maybe I should trust you.
At this time, it's probably best to point out some of the flaws of the game, which are mostly down to the graphics and presentation out of battles. The character models are not incredible considering we're using modern hardware, and there is a noticeable pop-in as you run through areas. Speaking of areas, I was disappointed by the human world you run around, as it did feel quite basic and bland, but I also have to admit I wasn't playing this game to look at the scenery, and was aware this was likely due to budget constraints. The Digimon world, however, is far brighter and more imaginative, as you can really see what it can potentially be. Although all these gripes are completely forgotten as I'm walking around my team Digimon, which is so cool, and most importantly, I can ride a Greymon! I can ride my Digimon! It is likely the bulk of the budget went on battles themselves, which are fantastic, which is what you want as you're going to be spending most of your time here. The Digimons look amazing and are well animated, far more than their pocket monster rivals. Each attack is big and flashy and makes you feel like you just come straight out of the anime. Boss battles also have that epic flair. Even the first major battle where your partner and you are teamed up with Omnimon taking on a Metal Greymon, which is so cool. And although, hang on, are you being chased by a Metal Greymon? Do you know how scary that is? Like I do. Ish. Battles take place in typical RPG fashion, and you can have a party of up to 3 Digimon, and then a guest character, and then 3 Digimon in the reserve, and then the player themselves have their own attack called cross arts. Now this can seem quite confusing and daunting, but trust me, it works. It reminded me very much of Final Fantasy X when you could switch in and out with non-active members. Each Digimon can either attack, use a skill, an item, or switch to another party member. The cool thing is that using an item or switching doesn't use a Digimon's turn up, which is actually refreshing to see, and you can argue this makes the game a bit easier. The game follows a rock paper scissors system like Fire Emblem's Weapon Triangle, using data, virus and vaccine. Additionally, there are elemental types, Pokemon style. God, I hate bringing up Pokemon all the time, but I suppose you have to. If you line up all the damage, you can often scale it to 400%, so this is why it pays to have a party with a range of types and switch often. Outside of battle, you can teach your Digimon abilities, similar to how you teach your Pokemon with TMs. However, in this game there is no restrictions to what Digimon learn, so you can teach them whatever you want to cover the team's weaknesses. Battles can also be sped up or auto-battled, which is amazing, allowing you to grind your team quickly. My word, speeding up battles is essential in this day and age. Because let's put it like this, you're going to be training a lot of Digimon. Now as you walk around the Digimon world and take part in battles, you'll scan their data. Once you hit 100%, you can convert that data to a Digimon. But if you can just hold off and get it to 200%, it'll have far better stats. Always go for the better stats, but also fight as many battles as you can to gain more data. Similar again to Pokemon, Digimon have natures which can affect their stats and possible evolutions. Digimon personality changes based how you answer the questions they send through to you. Sometimes you do have to give them cruel answers to put them in the direction of the nature you want, but I want my Hercule Kabuterimon. You can also assist with items that help change the nature. Yeah, let's put it like this, is a lot to sink your teeth into. Additionally, to help with your training is the Digifarm, where you can drop your Digimon off to have fun and get hench. While they're not available in battles, you can select what training they should be doing to get them ready. Along with your partners growing, the main character has the opportunity to grow through their agent rank. Unlocking new perks can do a range of factors such as increasing damage, experience, or opening new personality types to the Digimon. To grow your agent rank, you get anomaly points, which is done by completing main story and side missions. There are plenty of side missions for players to get involved in, and whilst they're not necessary to do, you shouldn't miss the opportunity to grow your agent rank. Now let's get to the fun part of it, the one reason I love this game, Digivolving. I love Digivolving. Now in Pokemon, it is pretty, and I say this loosely, pretty streamlined, where Digi-evolutions can go pretty much everywhere. Where I played Digimon World, Digivolving was confusing and hard to do, and I'd regularly get this wrong and then my Digimon would die after a few days, and I hated this. But fear not, Time Stranger makes Digivolving so much easier. You can now see a Digimon's possible evolutions and their requirements, although they will remain blacked out until you gain their data. So for example for Agumon, rather than just simply going down the Greymon route, you could go down to Geogreymon or Raptordramon. There's so many different directions you can go. The Digivolving web is so big when you consider where Digimon start from. Each Digimon has several stages, in Training 1, in Training 2, Rookie, Champion, Ultimate and Mega, and this is why there is 450. Like, in my head I was going to go down from Agumon to eventually War Greymon and Hercules Kabuterimon route, but there are so many different ways you can go. You also have the option to de-Digivolve your critters and then train them up to take on a new route. It's going to take you a while to get all 450, but it's really fun to do so. To summarise, whilst I am enjoying the story, the battles offered in Digimon Story Time Stranger is a real hero here. This is by far the best Digimon game that has ever been released, with flashy, engaging battles, and with the potential for so many different combinations of partners, and I can ride my Greymon. Digimon Story Time Stranger feels like a huge leap for the franchise, and I can only hope, no, more I pray, that Bandai Namco put Digimon on the same pedestal as Tekken, Dragon Ball, and the Soul series. And that's it. That's my review of Digimon Story Time Stranger. Let me know if you've been playing this game or if you're thinking of getting it. Until then, I'll see you all again for another video. My name's been Danny. Follow your dreams.